super frigid weather coming, as many of you know, but some of you may not know, and you're traveling through Vermont because we are way northeast. But a good part of Vermont is getting hit with this large storm coming. And however, Saturday, which is then tomorrow, actually starting 7 o'clock tonight, um, Friday, what is today? January 23rd. Okay. We have a severe cold temp warning. And that's because the temperatures are going anywhere from -15 with the high being -1. And they're saying that the this type of temperatures, you can get frostbite very, very, very quickly, like within 10 minutes. So, and I really want to draw caution when people say, hey, I'm all bundled up. Sometimes breathing in the air at that cold temperature, you're not getting a lot of oxygen. And so it could even, make you dizzy, make you sick. So try to stay in. And on that note, there was, just to give you a little bit more information, for those of you who don't know, Vermont has a very large homelessness issue. I believe this past summer the number was about 4,000 in the entire state of Vermont. And today they're saying in one county there's over 700 people homeless. So there is a place called the Miller Center. And so in Burlington, they had a little vigil. It's on the news, it's on WCAX. They had a vigil for those who are homeless. If you know, so in this way, so many people today are right on the brink of homelessness because of the cost of everything in general, like across the United States. So if you know a neighbor who's struggling, in some way, maybe help them get resources, because there still are resources in the state of Vermont to help us get through. And or if you know someone who is in their car, there's a lot of people sleeping in their cars, living in their cars. Direct them to the Miller Center. There's still time for them to get there, and that is opened up. It's a shame it's only opened up now. I'd like to see it open all winter. So with that said, today I'm focusing on the finches. Keep it now. You notice how many I have a quilt on them. I have a winter coat that I had. It's an old winter coat, and because the fabric contains cashmere, it was a thrift shop buy. I am using it as one of the layers. So, so a couple of tips. These are really super important tips because the birds are finches. Hi, Charles. Thank you for being here. And they're tiny little finches, you can see. And their names are Umi is the female and Mashuki is the male. And they're still babies well into February, but we're getting close, so they'll be. Umi is still getting her coat. Her feathers are still changing. But a tiny little bird like that can get cold very quickly. And I knew when I got, first of all, I was planning to get these birds in the spring, to give me plenty of time to get all kinds of equipment and resources for them. But they ended up having them. Yeah, they're really cute. I'm more of a I have to tell you, I love crows. Not to get all off on the subject, but I got to tell you what, they are seriously intelligent. And I'm talking right. If there's a crow in the wild, now right now I'm not exactly, I am near woods, so I may adopt another crow. But they watch you. They watch you. They know when you're like feeding the birds. They can hear you. They understand. They learn. I don't know if you knew this, the crow guy. Did you know that they learn language very quickly? And when you are in the woods, and this is an absolute fact, and a lot of hikers don't even know it, and you say something, let's say you say something to your friend, let's say you say Charles or whatever, and maybe a mile into your hike, you hear Charles. Guess what? It could be a crow. They have absolutely substantiated it. So, anyway, with that, I love crows. They're super smart, is what I'm saying. And they will mimic you like that in the wild. So, with that, so this is the thing that I worry about with the finches. I don't have a fireplace, and I don't have the little heaters that you can buy. I meant to get them. I have been in a very remote location. It is very difficult to get these things. And they're not that expensive, though, these little heaters that you can put in the cage. Anyway, I have found out some tips and I'm going to share them with you. And I'll tell you how I'm getting ready because we're going from the negative. Oh, I got to move these. This is some of my artwork. Hey, you guys like owls? Join us over at Echo Art with Carmelity. Okay, these are the owls I'm getting ready to teach though next month. So, oh, and sheep. We have sheep too. Okay, so I'm gonna put my artwork over there. I'm just making some room here. But no, if you're an artist or you love art, come on over and join us at Echo Art with Carmela T. Okay, so the immediate actions, and this is just AI, but the immediate actions they say to do is relocate the cage. Um, oh, okay. So the birds, I need to turn their cage. Okay. Another thing about the finches, if they are too much in direct sound, and my voice is kind of loud, it will bother them. They are an extremely quiet bird, and they even chirp quietly. But especially as a pair, they need to not be in the limelight. It's very important. That's why I've got half the cage kind of covered because they like half the light coming in and half of it. So if they want to go into their nest and get quiet, they can. But anyway, for immediate action to get your birds warm, move the cage to an interior room, like the bathroom, but or a closet. Now pick a place that's away from the windows and away from the doors and away from drafts. I have a designated area right now for my finches, and it's not a closet per se, but it's a little hub, a little bigger than a closet, but with no door, but it's very warm. I have identified the very warm areas of the apartment, okay? So that's probably where they're going to go tonight. Cover the cage like I have it covered, drape it, the whole thing, so top to bottom. Um, so it's like leak proof, yeah. So not leak proof. I'm sorry, I'm reading the next one there. So all three sides are covered, and the front part is open, for air to get in. But cover the part. I would just add to that. Cover the part, um, especially where they're in their corner, like in their nest. Because if you have finches, they probably have built their nest in one part of that cage. So just make sure that part is where those two sides are really completely covered, but cover all three and then have the front part kind of drape in where there's air to get in. Create a heat source. So this says fill a sturdy leak-proof container like a bottle of water with hot water and drape it in a towel and place it near the cage. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Now I'm going to add another way that I discussed with a store owner yesterday. He didn't have any little heaters for the finches or for the birds. Um, yeah, yeah, they do. These birds are very quiet. So I only put them in the limelight because I wanted to, like, I kind of show them. I probably should have them pushed back even more, but they're okay now. They do love their music also. But for the heat source, they're talking about put a hot water bottle. Well, if you don't have heat and the ice has taken down the electricity, you're not, maybe you can't even put on the stove to get hot water. Okay. So with that said, I was talking to a store owner yesterday of animal feed, pet feed, and whatnot. And now you need to be very careful with this. Now there's a couple of alternatives. There's a little heater, battery operated heater that you can get to put in the bird cage, or there's these little heating pads for animals that you can get. He didn't have any of those, but there's none around me here right now in Vermont. Uh, there are also the hand packs that keep your hands warm. Now, what you could do, and you have to be very careful with this because, of course, the birds peck at things, but finches very rarely. I never see them peck outside of that cage. So you could essentially take a very thick um, piece of, a quilt or blanket, and just kind of envelope the hand warmer so it's near the outside of the nest there. They won't notice any difference except the warmth. Now, the hand warmers, you have to take them and shake them. Guess what, though? They last up to 10 hours. So you would just have to really keep a close eye on them and make sure there's enough um, of insulation so your birds don't get burnt, because there is a burn thing, be careful and this and that. Well, with your hands, if you're putting them directly on your hands. So, well, hello, Umi. So with that, that's just a very cautious, creative suggestion in an emergency. So it's something I'm not going to use unless we do. But we're way up north. We are going to get ice, so there could be an issue, but hopefully not. But that's something I'm considering. And if I do that, I'll share how I'm doing it. But as a fiber artist, I can tell you right now, I would like a nice half an inch of fiber between my, like if you had a thick glove on, I would put it on my glove. Like you could do that, you know what I mean? You could put it in a glove and then put it outside the cage where they sit in their little nest. That's an emergency idea. That's just my idea. I'm not an expert, so just throwing that out there. Increase food and activity. So offer extra high energy seeds and encourage movement to help them generate body heat. So the extra high energy seeds, as I understand it, um, it probably won't say that on the box, but it might say for wild birds. I would be very careful with that, but that's an idea, yes. Excuse me. And then it says huddled together. In extreme cold, you can sit in a small enclosed space with the bird in the carrier to share body heat, ensuring you don't smother it. Okay, this is AI. Okay, you got to kind of just take the ideas. Maybe you can sit with your sweater on the cage. I don't know about that, because how long can you sit on a cage? Like you're sitting. That's very, but they're talking about extreme emergencies to keep your birds warm. But personally, excuse me, Thank you for having coffee with me. This is why I'm careful not to get on too early. I always need my morning coffee or lose my voice. But these are just a few ideas. But what I'm doing is um, discarded feathers. Okay, so let me tell you about the feathers with these birds. These finches that I have, which I turned them too far over so you can't really see them, um, they have, they're called society finches or the Bengalese finches. They were genetically engineered, as I understand it. I think they know that camera is on them. They were genetically engineered in Japan. And I believe this was in the 1800s. So their breed is not like an ancient breed, but it is from the DNA of ancient. I don't know what the mix is, but they're finches. But these finches are referenced as society finches, and so they're pet finches, and they are studied by psychologists and scientists because it just so happens that these birds um, are very in tune to behavior. If they're not compatible as mates, because they choose their own mates in the wild, they will choose a mate and be compatible and stay with that mate and get along perfectly. If they do not choose the mate, which I'm watching them closely because they were paired. So in captivity, when they're paired like this, they may not get along. They have to be suitable for each other. And I can tell you the personalities are unbelievable. Umi is extremely independent. Granted, the society finches, by nature, the female will always check out the food, the toy, the bed, like the nesting area first. If, or nesting items and make sure that everything is safe. And oh, this, I want to add something here too. So there's society finches because they don't have the zebra finches like the colors and everything. Uh, they're not as popular, but they are popular when it comes to, yeah, if you want to buy them. And they're all age group. These finches need calm. So yeah, I would get them for someone like as a companion. They're a very nice bird. So okay, so I just want to read this because this is talking about bird safe heating alternatives. Um, Bird safe heaters. Use thermostatically controlled cage warmers, ceramic heat emitters. That is something I didn't think of. Like if you have something ceramic and yeah, you do have hot water in it or something, or heated perches designed to prevent burns. Never heard of a heated perch. I don't know if you have. Um, Now the next alternative they give is a heat lamp. I didn't think of that either. So it's a reptile heat lamp and it can provide warmth, but ensure it's positioned safely so it doesn't overheat the cage or create a fire hazard. Yes, I would be very careful with a heat lamp, especially if you have blankets over your cage. Sounds expensive though. Yeah. I mean, I think I like the hot water bottle, for us, for the worker bee, for the person who is not, up there to throw out an extra couple hundred. I would say a heated water bottle. I don't know how long that lasts. You know what I mean? Um, but I like the hand warmer alternative. For me, if we do lose the heat, I have two, and one will get you 10 hours of heat. The only thing is, like I said, for me, I'm going to make sure that it's well insulated. And I think of something like this. Let me just get this. I have this this is cardboard. Okay, so about this width, I would think. I'm not going to put it in the cardboard. I would put it in a mitten. I would put it in a mitten, a hand warmer. Yes, we use hand warmers yes, and wrap them in a sock. Oh, that's an excellent idea. Oh, yes. Now, if anybody is on here from the South, because the Carolinas are going to get, and Tennessee is getting hit pretty soon, I guess. I guess Oklahoma is already having issues, but not everybody has fireplaces or heating, wood stoves. I used to have a wood stove, but years ago. But when everything hit after having a house for 20 years here in Vermont, I had to give it back. I couldn't afford it. But the wood stoves did give off a lot of heat and they were very good. But yeah, that's about an inch. But yes, what you just said there. The text is coming up, it's going away so fast I can't see your names or all of what you said. But yes, I think that's an excellent idea. Take the hand warmer, put it in a mitten, put it in a sock, hang it up outside where your little finches are nesting, or, because these guys don't sleep on a perch. They made a nest very quickly and they sleep in their nest. They just sleep like very interesting. But anyway, I think that's a wonderful idea. So if you're in the South and you don't have because can I just say, you're going to get hit. They're talking 24 hours of ice possibly coming down. How is that even? In weeks, some people will be without heat or without heat and electricity. So yeah, get your heat warmers, get your alternative, you know, some of you may have and the other thing is, like I said, I have a little hub. There's always a space or a corner in your apartment or in your house that may just hold the heat a little bit better. Make sure you position your birds in that place. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's Charlie. Oh, Charlie. Yeah. Yeah. Where are you from? Are you in the north? Are you in the south, Charlie? Because I mean, if people are not preparing, this it's going to be devastating for them because they're going to need, they say prepare with things like peanut butter and jelly and some crackers because the bread can go bad, but peanut butter jelly crackers or the little kits of tuna that's, already with the mayonnaise in it and, ready for you to just make that you can keep on the shelf. Evansville, Indiana, the brunt of the snow. Oh, 12 to 18. Oh my God. I haven't seen that like forever up here in Vermont. We used to get that like 35, 40 years ago. Yeah. 18 inches. Oh, that is, well, the snow, if it is the snow, that is, the good thing is it's insulating. It will insulate to some degree the house or the structure that you're in. Oh, this is a good one too. So for Charlie owner, toxic fumes, never use kerosene heaters, scented candles. No, I wasn't aware of that. I have scented candles, but for the birds, I don't use them. Or paraffin products near the birds. Oh yeah, because guess what? They're highly toxic. So if you're trying, like if you lose your lighting, they're saying, and you've got candles, don't put scented candles near these guys, or even in the same room because their nostrils, as I understand it, I was looking at that anatomy of them, so it blocks up super fast. Um, and kerosene heaters, no, no, no kerosene heaters, no, no. So see, this is the caution because during these emergencies, and sometimes these emergencies are lasting a day, but during that time, people, for out, Because look, we are like, look at us. I mean, look how we're made up. We need layers and layers of clothing on ourselves. You know, we're not like the bear out there and we can sleep out in the woods. We too are delicate. Chewing hazards. Don't use blankets inside the cage if your finch chews them. It can be an ingestion problem. Yes, this is why I like the idea of what Charlie said, and I think it's safe because my birds are used to the quilt outside of their cage, and they don't peck at it at all. They have enough to peck on inside. They have their straw, and you know, straw. Can I just say straw, which they didn't mention here at all. Straw is perfectly safe for finches. Let me show you what I get them. I was looking for straw and I couldn't find any. Do not put wool in. If you're a fiber artist like me and you have wool, don't put that in. Maybe around the cage or a woolen coat you might have or wool blanket that but watch them because they can't have the wool fibers. There is so much seriously to having the birds. I mean, they say these are like for easy beginner birds, but they're not. I wish they would have given a list of things you should know. But this is called Timothy hay, and I put like a handful of this in maybe once twice a week, and they use it, and you can see it's for these animals, but it is also for the birds. The only thing in this particular hay, they have dried fruit. The birds don't touch it anyway. They're just little blocks. You can take those out if there's something you think the bird can't or shouldn't have. But they don't touch that. Mine don't touch it anyway. But they take the Timothy hay. So hay is an extremely natural way to keep warm. They will use this to build and they do. They use it to add to their nest, and they use. They don't have any eggs or anything. Yeah, this is a really good, and it only costs like $3 and something. So it was not. This was not very expensive. It's just a very small bag, but they only need a small amount. But I actually went in looking for hay, thinking of this exact problem well before any of the storm was mentioned. I was thinking, how can I assure that they're warm if I'm outside working, or let's say I'm out working, and during the day it gets chilly in here. How do I know they're warm? And so I was thinking the hay. And so this is a wonderful natural way for them to keep warm, and it works. Trust me. I used to have doves. Yes, mourning doves. A year. Oh my gosh, it was so long ago. I can hardly remember. It was about 25 years ago, and hay is what they had for their bedding. That was it. Um, and so for the finches, kind of that's what I was thinking. Yeah. So let's see if the AI gives us any more to consider and to be careful about. Oh, omelet. I want to read omelet.com, keeping finches warm outdoors. Because you can have finches and you can set up an aviary outdoors. I know. Mourning doves, and they're cool. They do. That's why I had them, because they were so calming. And I'm going to tell you something. Since I got the finches in September, and my doctor can't believe it, my blood pressure has gone down 20 points. I'm not kidding you. Because when they just naturally sing to each other, It just calms. It's just so, you just automatically listening to it. It's just lovely. So keeping the finches warm outdoors. If you have an aviary, and you have a hard time during the colder months, the birds will have a hard time keeping themselves warm. There's several things you can do. Cover the interior of the enclosure, should be fully weatherproof and ideally insulated. Insulation follows the same basic principle as house insulation: construct walls and gap between interior and exterior. So you're probably saying, well, if you can put a finch outdoors, why on earth are you worried about it being cold in the house? Because if you have finches who are pets in the home, they're acclimated to the home temperature that you are. So they will not acclimate that quickly. You know, they could get hypothermia or whatever. It's not, it's, oh, this is a society finch right here. Here's a still picture. This is my finches. You see them? So that's like Mashuki is like a chocolate brown and beige white underneath. And Umi is very light and getting lighter. She's like a light gray white. She's very, very, she's changing again. So I do believe she's still growing. I think she was, yeah, that's a pet finch. That's a society finch. So finches do not like draughts. So even in the warmer weather, spring and summer, they will still need a place to go to escape the weather. Cozy nesting boxes, which is what they do. They sit back and forth, take turns all day in their little nest. And ledged in the sheltered and enclosed area of the aviary is very important to the birds to keep warm. Places with milder winters will be able to get away with precautions with, but remember, if there's temperature suddenly drops, the only thing that will ensure the survival of the birds is extra heating. So this is from omelet.com. And to keep your birds safe um, as well as warm, you'll need to make sure the heating supply is non-hazardous. So I just want to read what omelet.com is saying because we're having this conversation. Never use an open fire. Well, yeah. Anyway, sorry, omelet. No, but she draws important. This is important because I was saying to you, wow, if I had a fireplace, you know what I mean? But a wood stove is different. But but still, it says the smoke and fumes can, yeah, unalive these birds. I can't say the other word here on YouTube. Sometimes to bear in mind if you're using said items in the garden and the wind is blowing in the direction, yeah, of the aviary. Wow, I really didn't think of that. So I don't have any place to have an aviary, but I would love to have one day like some open area like space just to kind of attract birds and kind of help them have little nesting areas. But anyway, that's important to know. Don't use a house heater, whether gas or electric. These are not just fire hazards, but they will release fumes, which are toxic to the bird. Okay, so what I have at quite a distance on the other side of the room is a little space heater, but it's not like electric coils and everything. It's like a very efficient little boxed fan. So it's set at a temperature when it gets chilly, it just goes on. And when it reaches that temperature, it just goes off. So I have that. I've used that with them. That's totally safe. But they're saying, um, don't put like a gas heater or heater like right on them and or something that's causing fumes. Oh yeah. Camping stoves are not good either. Yes, because they have toxic fumes. If there's no electricity in the aviary, seriously consider supplying it. Otherwise, you might struggle. Okay, so they're just talking about the outside birds now. And I find that interesting because I didn't realize that you had to give them electricity outside. So listen to this. One option is to put there she says it here, a hot water bottle in the covered section of the bird cage. These will lose heat overnight, but should be enough to keep the finches comfortable. Okay. Always cover the bottles to prevent the roosting birds getting scorched. These are for outside birds, so I guess the hot water bottle is an idea. If you have electricity supply in the aviary, a powerful bulb or two, or a ceramic heat lamp will do the job. So I'll have to look up ceramic heat lamps because I don't know, I don't have one. These will need heat-proof covers to prevent the birds from burning. Okay, yeah. Heat-proof covers, I think you can get even at an auto supply store. Seriously, at a hardware store. I'm going to check it out. I've been checking out different things around here. You can buy purpose-made aviary tube lamp heaters or wall-mounted heaters in various sizes. Some of these come with thermostats, which are ideal. When it dips below a certain temperature, it's good at, you just set it and then I guess it kicks on. Aviary tube lamp heaters. Okay, let's see what those look like, guys. I just want to see what these look like. Okay, this is what it looks like. Wait, it's not giving me that's, yeah. Nothing against Yahoo, but I just don't get the information I need. So let me put it in again. Aviary tube lamp heaters. I don't like the idea of lamps. I'm going to be honest with you, but this is what they are. $114, $74, 360, 48 is the lowest. Let me show you some images. Let's do shopping. Okay. I don't like the idea of these. I don't know if you can see these at all. You see, they're like tubes. Some of them are just kind of, turn it that way. See this one here? I don't like those at all. But I guess if you have a setup, I don't like them because, like I said to you, I like to put hay and stuff like that in there. I like the birds to have some natural some natural vegetation to be able to, and I don't think anything like that would go very well with that kind of a setup. So let me just put in here what the heating pads, heating pads for birds. Let's see what those look like. Oh, those are, I thought those might be, okay, so they're, it's showing it with a rabbit on there too. Look at this, guys. This is interesting. See the rabbit over here? And then this is, the bird is directly on it. So I find that interesting too. Those go from $34. Oh, Chewy.com. Chewy.com. Oh, look. Let's go to Chewy.com. They have the, looks like electrical heating unit for $38. That's not bad, guys. But, I mean, it's still Warmer medium. It's still too late. It's too late to get it. I'll have to get it after. But look, it's $25 right now. Look, it does. It seems like a safer option. Look, 25. I mean, yes, you know, Charlie, this is a thing. This is a thing, guys. You gotta be safe. I mean, look, it is during these times, you do kind of panic when you're starting to get really cold, and you do start to panic. So if you're in an apartment building, there will be people around, there will be more resources around. If you're in a house remotely out near the woods and this and that, you most likely are already prepared for a lot of this stuff. But do not panic is the idea. Um, so anything you do, anything I draw caution to with electricity. I just don't like, I think that's why I haven't gotten the pad, is because it's electrical. I know, right? It is. It's very easy to worry more about your birds. And when I had a dog, when I had my dog Sophia, oh, everything, my world was Sophia. Everybody would say, oh, it's all about Sophia. And it just is because they're so dependent on you. But anyway, well, so just Chewy.com is a really good resource. I guess Walmart has some, which they're really far from me. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of how I'm thinking too, Charlie, is I'm totally thinking I can bundle up, I can put my hat on, I can put my mittens on, but these guys, I gotta just make sure. And I've got, you know, the coat on here. I put that on ahead of time because I put it on the cage. And it seems odd. I said, but it's a thrift shop coat. It has cashmere natural fibers in it. It's lined. That is a coat. That is fabric. That is fiber. That is going to keep them warm because the temperature is 15 below. An Arctic fox, a goat, okay, a bear, any of these animals with these natural fibers, cashmere. What is cashmere? Isn't it goat? It is. It's a nice coat. I plan to get it dry cleaned after, but I figure for now the birds, like you said, they're a little bit more important. I do have some coats I can put on. And a wool blanket, maybe on top of their regular, you know, a bird blanket. All of these things will keep the warmth in. But personally, I do like the idea of the hot water bottle, and I like the idea of kind of insulating and wrapping up the, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the birds are totally in style. Oh my gosh. It's a good thing I'm not like really well to do, or I'd be putting my foxtrot cape on them. Oh gosh. Anyway, with that, thank you so much for being with me. I'm gonna go make another cup of coffee and I'm gonna jump on. I think I'm gonna go warm up my car and probably jump on and fill it up with gas. That's another thing. If you are in Vermont, don't mess around. Get that gas tank filled up. And for those of you who are out on the edge and in this storm, and Charlie and all of you out there, be safe. Be safe. And please let us know how you weather the storm. I love to hear from you. You can DM me on this channel, and it prompts me to jump on and do a video too. When the storm comes, because I think we're not going to get the snow actually till Sunday or Monday here, as I understand it. But anything we get, I'll walk out in it and share it with you. Yeah, get your groceries. Oh, thank you for being here. And get your groceries, get the car filled up, and I will see you all in the next one. Love and light, and be safe.